That was really annoying. Maybe I'm not supposed to talk about this stuff. And like I said, not for like, you know, dramatic reasons. More so like Jordan Peterson, you know, like always, oh, he's like this. Here, let me be Jordan Peterson. Hold on, let me get, not so much, alright, like this. Here's Jordan Peterson. They're gonna get me. Guys, this is the last chance I have to talk about this. Like, that's every thumbnail for Jordan Peterson. So, no, I'm not saying it for that reason. I'm saying it's annoying. I'm saying dramatic reasons. I'm not supposed to talk about it because, yeah, like, I just don't feel like hearing people's bullshit, you know? I don't give a fuck. I don't care at this point. Like, what else would you... There. Go cry with Jordan Peterson, okay? Yeah, I ain't got time for no bullshit. This is the last shot, though. Last shot. If something goes wrong with this filming, then I am gonna take it as a sign to stop. Okay. So, what I was trying to mention before was, oh, I hate that though because I got distracted. Okay. The terraforming. Okay. So what I've heard, like as far as Sasquatch, my thoughts on Sasquatch and all of that, I'm sure. Yes, I believe that there are. How could you not? I don't know. It just seems kind of like obvious. I'm not gonna theorize into like where the different like species came from, cryptids and all that, other than Sasquatch, because I had read somewhere long ago. And I can't remember the planet's name. It wasn't no, it's not Marduk. I believe Marduk is the one who was said to have destroyed the planet, or like, oh, it's not Thra, because that's from Dark Crystal. It was, I guess Gaia? Oh, it's so frustrating. It is rumored, or there was a theory I had come across, that Sasquatch, these creatures that people spot, are part of a race from a planet that basically their punishment is to walk around and find. They destroyed a planet, you know, whether from nuclear crap or atom smashing. I guess that's all kind of pretty much the same thing, you know, like they blew up a planet, they destroyed a planet. So their punishment, these Sasquatch creatures, why they're kind of humanoidish is because, yeah, they're from another planet, and their punishment, they have come here to reflect, you know. And I guess, I don't know if they would be considered like other dimensional, or like why we sometimes see them. Maybe that's part of maybe we are them, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense to people who, I know there's people who I like hearing these sort of things. And I don't have an answer for everything, because then that wouldn't be fun to theorize, you know? But that does tie into the terraforming thing, because, yeah, like, like, this planet, like, there's no way that, I mean, like, look what they're doing in the sky, like, they're I'm not going to get into what I think chemtrails are right now. I don't even think they're necessarily bad, but to deny that they're even that they exist, it's, I would tell you to go outside and get a breath of fresh air and come back, but that's where we're standing, and we're looking at the sky, which is associated with air. So I don't know, for those people and not that far in denial about your environment and surroundings, I don't know what to tell you. They are chemtrails, okay? It's not condensation, okay? And they don't usually, you know, what cartoon, like, what when have planes, like, okay, I love this. You know, people are crazy for calling this out, but they feel not crazy. Planes always make those shapes. Like a Looney Tunes end of the show, like wrap up, where the plane is spinning and making like X's and shapes and like loops. In real life, like real time, where do you live? Do you live in like this Richard Scarry, the busy world of Richard Scarry? Like that's what I kind of picture. Like, are you guys accepting new residents? Do you guys, like, would I be accepted in this town where the planes fly like that? Because they don't, okay? So for you to be in that much denial about your environment, I guess call is crazy, but I mean, it's really, we don't give a fuck, because that's you in the situation. You're just not, this is consider this an intervention, okay? I'm not trying to be mean and hurt feelings, okay? So moving along, yeah, like Sasquatch, we're on a terraformed, why can't I remember the planet name? Oh, that's so frustrating. It's in like new agey kind of stuff. It's not Marduk, but I think Marduk plays a part in it in a lot of like, mythologies or, you know, legends. So yeah, as far as Sasquatch goes, I've always found that interesting. You know, like that theory that they're like, yeah, they're kind of stuck here, because like, God, that does seem like a punishment, doesn't it, guys? Like you're stuck with humans, and like they're thinking like, you got seen. I don't know. It sounds rough. It sounds like a punishment I wouldn't want to endure. You know. So there's that. Now, as far as Mandela effect, yes, I was talking about that. Busting up atoms, busting up them atoms. Okay, back like the Tower of Babel. You know, when God, if you don't have to be religious for me to share a religious story. Okay, and please like just listen to it and pretend it's a fairy tale if that makes you feel better. Okay, there was a fairy tale I read once where the big boss, right, like the king of the sky, he was getting mad with the townsfolk of, you know, this town called Busy World of this was a Busy World of Richard Scarry episode. I'm sorry, that's what it was. Okay, not a book. Okay, so the Sky King, he's getting mad with the people of the town that he is in charge over. You know, he's the sky. He's watching, right? And they're making this tower that's so tall because they want to reach and show that they can reach him. You know, like they can get as tall as he can. So, you know, and we're talking, of course, physically. Like, there's no deeper meaning to it, guys. Okay, like, he was so offended by that. Like, how dare you think you can measure up to me, literally? I'm gonna punish you. And so he did. And what he did was he stopped them from continuing building this high tower, and made it so languages started to exist as far as separate languages between humans. The people, you know, building this tower. Why? You know, like, what a weird, like, so random, you know? Like, what a weird king. Like, what's his problem? Like, he needs to get laid or something, it sounds like, because what does that have to do with anything? And, like, who cares if they're just building a height, you know, a tall tower? Okay, sorry. You didn't tell us we couldn't do that. You know, maybe you should have said something prior to, or, like, while we started doing it, maybe. Not, like, the end of the project. Anyhow, the Sky King, why? Why did he change languages? Okay, because we're talking, the Tower of Babel is, like, the CERN particle accelerator. That theory, yes, that is true, but it's always, it's not like it's gonna happen, guys. It already did, okay? Like, it ain't nothing new, okay? You don't have to believe in the Bible to believe this quote. I believe it's from Solomon, but there's nothing new under the sun. Like there's. I know that sounds kooky, right? But I told you what I believe. I believe there are two timelines simultaneously running or playing out. Okay, that would make sense, guys. At least two timelines. Probably only that because there's this thing in science, cause and reaction, positive, negative, female, male. Like, I don't know. It's a scientific fact. So it would make sense that somehow there are two timelines running. Are we all part of both of them? I don't know. Okay. I'm just a gal. I got really, really dry cuticles, okay? And I am just talking out of my ass, guys. You're the ones listening to me, okay? I don't know. Who's the crazier one, Who's the crazier one right now? But as far as language goes, the reason why that would be affected is, like, for smashing atoms, and, like, you're trying to be God, We literally call it now, currently, God particle. We want all the answers, seeking knowledge. There's that bite of the fruit again, seeking knowledge seeking. Yeah, it would change language because of frequency. Imagine just go look up what it actually means, what the accelerator does, what they do at CERN. Go research that and see why wouldn't that, as far as language goes, yes, it could be words, yes, it could be memories, Berenstein, the whole thing that kind of triggered this. But more so, frequency. Nikola Tesla talks about, if you want to discover the mysteries of the universe, think in terms of vibration, frequency, and what's the other one? Anyway, that ties into this. Mysteries in... Damn it, that pisses me off. I can't remember that now. But anyhow, yeah, that's why. Because, how some people you just wonder, are people just born evil? That's kind of where the whole concept of, good and bad, I think, kind of really got settled into our collective psyche, because if you're any kind of intelligent energy, gets smashing atoms, it just sounds intense, right? It sounds like, whoa! It sounds like when, you're on a very crowded bus or subway train, right? And, there's a speed bump or a near accident. Whoa, and every bumps into the other. Whoa, my purse is now over 2 seats down on that guy's lap. It's like that. But, on an energetic level, guys. So, language changing would be just why don't we vibe anymore, Vibes, vibration, frequency. If you think in terms of, didn't I say that, though? Vibration. That's going to bug me this whole time, guys. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know if is that fair in life, will people argue about that, hey, well, we're who, what, when, where, why, wrong place, wrong time, maybe not, I don't know, but, certainly that could explain, why some people have demons and things like that, or generations or lines of families have demons because it was created, it happened in a freak accident, it's a curse, we didn't, I don't know, you don't have to even believe it in a mythological sense, you just scientifically, we have to use these words because we're human. And we have our ego, no matter what. At the end of the day, we all die with an ego still, okay? So, when we are always putting our own emotions, scientists, take religion out of it, you are putting your emotions into your work. You are. Because you're theorizing you're theorizing the same thing that religious people are. It's just being explained differently, and both are just as useful, like, studies or fields, my opinion. I don't know. But, anyhow, like, okay, so it's up to you at that point to raise your frequency, get pumping on that get pumping, pump it up, like pump up the electric, like do your work, like make use of yourself, like can you contribute a little bit to the rest of us smashed atoms? Okay. So Mandela effect, yes, is very much real, and that is why, like, people would have different memories. Does it get annoying when people are like, yeah, but you can't, why does it trigger, like, I don't get that. Like, the people get so triggered by who don't believe in it, and their arguments always, I would either get into it with them or witness others arguing. Well, they think they're all high and mighty. They're like, well, what do you just want? I'm not going to be an echo chamber. That's like their favorite term in the Mandela disprovers group. Like they love that word, echo chamber. Like, yeah, all of us Mandela believers we just want to hear back. Like, no, but we certainly don't want to go away. Don't you have, what's going on? Is your, like, PlayStation 5 broken or something? Like, you're, like, what's going on? Like, or did you get fired at the card shop, like, store or something? What's up, kid? Like, you don't have to be so discrediting about it and such a gaslighter, because, again, you are the one that looks insane. Like, I don't care. You could call a million of us insane every day, but there's a million of us seeing you gaslight us. So, I'm not saying you have to believe in it. If you didn't experience it, you didn't. It just seems strange to me, like, you join these groups, like, your life mission is to, like, really get to the bottom of these people, these weirdos who believe in the Mandela effect. And you're going to do it by giving them tough love and not being in an echo chamber to them. Like, please. I would like to know, is this the same, is this the same village of Richard Scarry where they do the loops in the sky with the plane, like the planes fly like that? Because, like, yeah, I don't know. I used to, like, think you guys were miserable, but I don't know. It seems quite dandy, And even if it is miserable, I wouldn't be aware I'm miserable because you guys aren't aware that you're miserable. Only we're aware. So what would I care if I'm not aware of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Okay, can somebody, like, message me on Twitter if there's any, like, if you see any place on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace for any rents you see in the busy world of Richard Scarry, please hit me up. So anyhow, yeah, it's never going to get taken that far, the Mandela effect, as far as where people are like, wait a second, I mean, it kind of is getting to the point where people are just gaslighting people all the time. So what's the matter to you, like, if they're using the Mandela effect as an excuse? People are gaslighting people every day, all day anyway. Like, do you see what's going on with the president and, like, the former president and the current one? So, just because we say it's, like, Mandela effect related, then it becomes crazy? Like, yeah, please. Go to pilot school or something, okay? Or, like, hot air balloon. Go fly on a hot air balloon or something for a minute so us grown folks can talk, all right? Us non-grumpy folk can talk. Thank you. Other theories. So that was Mandela effect. Yeah, guys, for sure. Like, as far as the Mandela effect, I didn't get too carried away with it. It's certainly when you it's certainly a weird feeling when you first experience it, because like it does kind of like shatter your reality, because I know you can come bust my door down right now if I had to admit, right? If I had to admit, yeah, no, it was always Berenstain. You're right, guys. You're right. I wouldn't. If you guys are like, I don't know, some terrible torment or punishment, whatever, beheading, I don't know. Think of some, get creative, right? Think of something terrible. I will never, you, Taliban, powers that be, I don't know, incels who think they own like Facebook groups about Mandela effect. You'll never get me to admit that it was always Berenstain, okay? Never. And you know, if you kill me as a result, right, I will make it a point to fly back on my cartoon plane and write it in the sky as well, like your planes do in Busy World of Richard Scarry, okay? So there's that. Yeah, that would be how, guys, can we do that? Like, can the chemtrail start spelling out like Berenstein? Like, that would be really cryptic, you know? Like, can we make it? That would be cool. Or like X is getting played. You know, Elon Musk has that claim to X. So like, what about E? You know, E, just E, because I know Enki is EA, right? Just E. Berenstein, or just even Steen, you know, because that's a lot of, that pilot's probably going to get dizzy if they spin all those times from Berenstein. So just apostrophe Stein, and you look up in the sky, and well, us loony bins, you know, us wackadoo folk are going to look up and say, whoa, that's an unusual pattern in the sky, and we'll say, further, the real crazy ones, they're gonna say, yeah, I think it says Steen or Stein, and that would be really cool. Yeah, that might have been a reality. No, guys, I used to believe in that, like, oh, infinite amounts of realities and all that. Yeah, it's possible, I believe, but I think we're really should only be focused on two. There's two. Two is what's really impacting where you are today, like consciously. That's all you need to worry about. And as far as past lives and reincarnation, I certainly believe in that, but I have my doubts as far as if it's a linear time experience or if it's simultaneous lives going at the same time. That's where that kind of would come into play, like the multiverse, what we call reincarnation, is we here can only grasp it in a linear time kind of sense, but it's going on concurrent. It's concurrent with this existence. We just can't grasp it. Like, it's gonna make you sound crazy, okay? and it does. Even if you explain this stuff, that's what's so funny with scientists, because they're so confident in what they say, because it doesn't have some like mythological tone to it. But if you think about it, it really does, because you're like, and then the particle decides that it's had enough of that bond and it jumps over to, you're still putting emotions, but you're still putting yourself, come on, can we agree to disagree, or just agree to agree? Because that's such an outdated thing, like war too. I'm so tired of just is religion and science. It's you guys, it is the same thing. Okay, it is. And like I said, people can disagree about my evolution analogy or whatever. I never really got into an analogy, but think of it like this. When I say separate the wheat from the tare or chaff or whatever, that's just part of any... we have egos, and see, people don't like hearing that statement and thinking that there's a being or an energy or whatever that is more powerful than them. That's your fucking ego, guys, okay? You can't handle the truth. You know who can? Any other living organism that goes through the evolutionary process. Do you think, like, they battle all kinds of conditions? Survival of the fittest. Isn't that a Darwin? Is it Darwin? A concept, essentially, or part of evolution, right? Or, you know, natural order, scientifically. So yes, I don't know if, like, birds would consider the wind their adversary. You know, they might just get a little pissed off and peeved. But we humans like to put our words and thoughts and emotions into it. So, like, all the stuff we battle is part of our evolutionary process. And to deal with it better, right, or to best deal with it and survive it, essentially being the fittest, we have this wackadoo concept of, like, gods and stuff, you know. That sounds like you're a stronger organism for trying to tolerate the tough process that all living organisms go through. Does that make sense? No, like, right? Like, again, I'm not trying to convince people to believe what I believe. I'm just really not trying to convince you to shut the fuck up and thinking that you are somehow superior for not believing what I believe, or religious people or whatever, you know, people that essentially don't believe what you. I'm all ears when it comes to science. I like incorporating the two. Now, if I were to talk to a scientist person who didn't believe in religion, they'd probably never know. Like, if I didn't mention it and they didn't know me and my beliefs, I could probably pass that off. Like, I could put my... You would never know. That's what's so annoying, is like... I don't know. The superiority complex, it's kind of so trope of, like, a bully, the classic bully, where it's like, oh, they're only making fun of you for being homosexual because really they're homosexual. Like, that kind of thing. It's like, it's so obvious when you people are doing that, why you're doing it. You're big babies. You act like big babies, and you berate and belittle people. Or superiority complex. This is about conspiracy theories. I'm also trying to put off, I guess, or I'm not trying to put off anything. I just feel led to talk about this. I'll do next topic.